The other day after school, I thought it would be cool to do a bit of watercolor. And in this video, I'll share my process. What I'm using is some watercolor paper, some oil pastels, gouache, and some watercolor paints. I tried to limit my palette to only 4 colors. It's been so gray lately that I thought this warm yellow would be lovely. Some water, and a few other things I'll tell you about later. I start by getting out my sheet of watercolor paper, and I opened up the oil pastels. Look at these things, they are so great. They are thick oil pastels, and I just began by making some marks on the paper. Just getting something on the paper to get me started. The watercolor and gouache will resist these oil pastels, so as I add layers, you'll see the results. Next, I put some of my paints, just a little bit, onto my palette. And I added some water to each. Then I started painting. I really didn't have anything in mind other than play. I knew I was going to be adding many layers to this, and I tried to be patient with myself throughout the process. It probably might have been a good idea to tape down my paper first, but I didn't do that, and so throughout the process, I just held down the paper where I wasn't working. By limiting my palette to only 4 colors, I really had to think about the placement of the color and how they would blend with one another. I love the warmth that this yellow is adding, and for me, it's an unusual color choice, and it really brightened my day. I really like how the colors are pooling. That dark navy blue is quite lovely. As different sections of the paper was drying, I was able to add more color. There was quite a bit of paint left, so I was able to get a little more pigment on my brush, add more layers. This fluorescent pink also added a nice brightness to an otherwise gray day. This is some black watercolor paint. I'm just adding it to my fingertip and using that. Add some more marks. Trying to find some balance on the page with dark tones and bright tones. This is some white gouache. At this point, it looked a little bit muddy and I was starting to second guess myself, but I knew there would be more layers. I got out some acrylic paint and an old doily that I use for stenciling, a little foam dauber, and this gold acrylic paint added a nice depth. This is an iridescent acrylic paint. That really add a nice sheen and shimmer. The watercolor paper dries rather quickly, which allowed me to add more and more layers. Just trying to add a bit more balance to the piece. I'm sure I'll find something to use this paper for, but ultimately I was just interested in exploring the process of watercolor plus gouache plus different layers, adding some acrylic paint using different tools. I still had one more clean finger to use in that warm yellow tone. At this point, I was pretty happy with the overall page and thought it was time to stop. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.